Hi Eleanor, it's us, the Broughton girls. We were part of the church choir from kindergarten until high school.
Hi Eleanor, greetings from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England.
Hi Eleanor, it's Annie Ewing, former member of the junior, intermediate, and senior choirs.
Hi Eleanor, I sang in your choir about 15 years ago, and it was one of the highlights of my life at that time.
Our dear Eleanor, 40 plus years with us, 1982 to 2023.
As it happened, Eleanor's mother saw Fairlawn's notice in the Observer, and Eleanor applied.
Hi Eleanor, Amy Jones from Dallas, Texas. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations.
Hi Eleanor, it's Melissa here. I just wanted to say a big congratulations.
Eleanor, you are known all over the world, but I just want you to know that you have also enriched my little family here at Fairlawn.
So as a little kid, you made difficult things seem easy.
And I really kind of owe that to Eleanor for starting my love of music.
And she taught me to read music, and she consistently challenged us as young singers to learn and practice and grow, and I'm just so grateful for that opportunity.
Just wanted to mention how singing in your choir was like a huge honor. Learning music from you was like a massive honor.
I was given opportunities to push myself with solos and trios, and I always felt appreciated and supported by Eleanor.
I learned a lot being in that choir, and it also just filled my days with joy.
And so we were made to feel really important entering the sanctuary, and even just to go sit in the pews or to take our spots in front. We would get the horrible looks from you if we were whispering or giggling during the service, which I probably did too much.
Eleanor, some way, somehow, was able to wrangle me and my friends, a group of misfit boys, into a cohesive choir. I don't know how she did it, but I'm so glad she did.
Taught us how to be brave and stand up in front of big crowds. There are just so many things we learned from you.
I loved being in the choir. It was so good for me. It taught me to listen to other people in a way that I really hadn't done before.
We always loved Eleanor for making choir as fun as possible while still instilling in us the importance of focus and hard work.
Is the intergenerational friendships that I was able to create through being in the choirs. It's so rare in this day and age to have a chance to connect with people outside of work that are of different ages than you, and that's been so special.
I'm in 2 singing groups here, and in both choirs within the first 2 rehearsals, when someone asked me or found out I was from Toronto, someone said, "Oh, do you know Eleanor Daley's music?" Do I? It is just so wonderful to know how beloved you are everywhere.
And I'm the oldest of the sisters, so I remember when you came to the choir, and all of a sudden, the choir was so fun.
I remember singing those wonderful Sunday mornings, even when you felt like you had to come in and rewrite our piece because you didn't like how we sounded.
What was really remarkable in being in the choir was that it was obviously fun. Our generation, my generation, I think I had just a ton of fun together.
Diana remembers one time she was being really silly, and Eleanor said, "That's it." And Diana thought, "Oh no, I'm about to get in trouble." Instead, Eleanor said, "All right, everyone get your sillies out," and made the entire choir wiggle their arms and legs until we were all laughing really, really hard.
You know, in the pageant, being able to sing as one of the 3 wise men, 3 wise guys, it's been, that was just one of the fun things that we got to do as kids, and that's something that I'll remember forever.
And I always knew I was your favorite wise man.
After rehearsal, there were refreshments at the Sailor's Dickey.
I am so pleased that you invited me to join Fairlawn Choir after Rebecca retired.
But here at Fairlawn, when I was doing the services here at Fairlawn, I knew it was somebody special.
So a big, big thank you for when you let me be in your choir many, many years ago. Even when I was too young to read, you could tell how much I really wanted to sing. So thank you for that.
Always, always digging, always trying to make it more effective, always trying to bring it out to people in a way that would impact them. I loved that.
A couple things. One is I want to thank you because I don't believe I ever would have had the opportunity to sing and learn the joy of singing and how opening it is to your soul.
I think that one of the things that means so much to me is that this choir was really the foundation for not only my musical life, but truly my career.
And my gratitude for all of the wonderful people I met in the choir.
Opportunity to thank you again for all that you've done for Julia and Cameron. You taught them, you coached them, and you instilled in them a love of music.
Which then obviously allowed us to build a stronger relationship with the church and with our faith. And so that's a huge impact for me in my life. So thank you very much.
So we are really privileged to sing in your choir.
I'm proud.
Great.
And it's been an honor and a privilege to know you and to work with you for as long as I have. And congratulations.
You always treat your people with fairness and respect. Your mildly self-deprecating comments when you make a mistake always bring a chuckle and create a light mood, even while you inspire us to try our best.
The most supportive person, I think, ever.
Thank you for this time that you tried to catch me when I passed out during my confirmation. Last thing I remember is seeing you get up and start running towards me and then waking up on the floor. So thank you for trying.
You have always been and forever will be a total legend in my eyes. I've been singing your music ever since I was a kid in children's choir.
Couldn't understand. I mean, I knew Eleanor was well known, but I didn't realize that everybody in the music world knew who she was. So,
from my point of view, everything about you is magnificent. Your talent, what you brought to the choir, what you brought to me personally.
Your warm and caring personality, tinged with a bit of slightly anxious perfectionism, is a perfect combination for leading a music program of such quality.
There's nobody more deserving than you.
None of us take credit for finding you or hiring you. I think it was just predestined that you would come to Fairlawn to lay the foundation for your life's work.
Many best wishes. Hi from Oregon.
To every day being amazing that I get to sing in her choir, and every past day it's been a treat. Thank you, Eleanor.
Hallelujah chorus. Hallelujah!
So congratulations, Eleanor. Thank you for all you do and continue to do, have done. We are just so lucky to have you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Over 3 decades ago, I toured a children's show around Ontario. It was called Bears, 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 and the wonderful accompanist was Eleanor Daley.
My name is Carrie, and I'm Eleanor. Today, we're going to share with you the wonderful world of bears. Are you ready? Yes, we're ready. Right, let's go. Going on a bear hunt. Oh, no. You see what I see? Sure, we see what you see. A great big mountain. I guess we'll just have to climb it. Let's
day while touring in the van, Eleanor removed her headset and she said, "Would you like to hear my choir?" Surprised, I said, "You have a choir?" And she handed me the headset, and I listened to glorious music written by Eleanor Daley. Later that year, I became a soprano lead at Fairlawn Church. Long story short, I stayed 17 years. It was the church where I raised my son, who joined Eleanor's junior choir. We became fast friends and compatible colleagues. We worked together at Fairlawn, at rehearsals, services, special music, traveling to Newfoundland, the Elmer Eisler Singers, and with the Bach Children's Chorus. To work with Eleanor is inspiring. To sing Eleanor's gorgeous music is thrilling. To be one of Elle's angels is an honor. To know her as a friend is a privilege. Congratulations, Eleanor, on your appointment to the Order of Canada. It is well deserved, and I am deeply proud of you.
Hello, Fairlawn United. I'm Tom Allen, and I am delighted to be able to be part of a tribute to the musician and the person that I feel has made such an enormous contribution, not just to life at Fairlawn. And I know that Eleanor Daley's contributions to just about anybody who has spent any time in this building are already almost impossible to measure and to summarize. No, my task in this tribute has been to try and get a small sense of the impact that Eleanor and her music have had outside of Fairlawn. Because I know you come every Sunday, or maybe every few Sundays, whatever it may be. When you come to Fairlawn, you look forward to hearing the great music that she provides. Well, I must tell you, you're not the only one. So I have two interviews, short little phone interviews that I've collected with people who have an outside perspective on Eleanor's impact, and I'll play them for you. The first is Elaine Choi, who is the music director at Timothy Eaton Church, but she is also someone who has a very broad understanding of music, not only in Canada, but around the world, and particularly in Asia, as she will explain. This is Elaine Choi, my conversation with her a few days ago.
Eleanor's music is just so beautifully written and so accessible for choirs across all age groups, especially. It's really an important part of choral education, I would say, outside of just church music. Sensitive writing for the voice, but also being accompanied by the beautiful piano writing she has as well. So right before the pandemic, I visited Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Macau. And as a conductor visiting, as a Chinese and Canadian conductor visiting abroad, I've decided to bring some Canadian music there, only to find out that even though they have not heard of any of the Canadian composers I brought with me at that trip, they all are familiar with Eleanor's music. And then I found out that some of her work was actually part of the Hong Kong Choral Festival as one of the syllabus and one of the mandatory pieces for many years and many decades. And this was really exciting to see that I myself going all the way there, find out that one of the Canadian music is one that is on their choral syllabus. So I know that in Hong Kong, they are quite familiar with Eleanor's music. I know in the US, a lot of choirs have also done a lot of her music. And I'm not surprised if every continent have some choirs that have done Eleanor's music before. I've known of her and her work way before I got a chance to meet her in person. And the first time I met her in person, she was actually playing for the Bach Children's Choir. And to know that this composer that has written so many music that I've adored and loved, and up there actually making choral music live in person, that was a really humbling and yet again extremely honored experience of myself. And the second time I went to visit her was at Fairlawn United Church, and had a chance to visit where she worked and where a lot of her music was conceived, and she birthed so many music because of that space and the people that she has met, and that was really lovely too. I'm now a church musician down the street, not far from Fairlawn. I'm the director of music at Timothy Eaton Memorial Church. I am in my 12 years, and I look up to someone like Eleanor Daley, hoping that I will have a tenure like herself as well, and to really serve the congregation and the music ministry, and to create a meaningful community that people can come together at a church and worship, sing beautiful music, but also have a place to get to know each other, get to know God closer through choral music. And to me, I cannot separate Eleanor Daley and Fairlawn United. I think it's so tied together, and it's really wonderful from the outside looking in to see how much of an impact she has made through that music ministry at Fairlawn.
So that's Elaine Choi, speaking not only about the fact that when she got to Hong Kong and Macau and Taiwan, they already knew Eleanor's music perhaps more than she did at that point, that it's mandatory for choral students in Hong Kong. They have to learn Eleanor's music because the people there have understood it is of that level of quality. So here's one more perspective. This is a man named Owain Park, who is a choral conductor and a composer. He's led many of the most prominent choirs in the United Kingdom, perhaps because they were in the news recently, most prominently the BBC Singers, as well as the choir called the 16. But right now he's best known because he's the artistic director of a small singing group, the Gesualdo Six. Spectacular singers, absolutely mesmerizingly beautiful singers. You can find them on YouTube. If you Google Gesualdo Six, you'll hear all kinds of stuff. In fact, you'll hear Eleanor's music. So I managed to reach Owain Park, and this is what he had to say about Eleanor Daley's music.
The thing about Eleanor's music is it just speaks to everyone. I mean, we love the way that through such sort of simple gestures, she's able to communicate. Often I've put her setting Grandmother Moon as the encore in a program. And so that gives me an opportunity to say a little bit about the piece and about her as composer. And perhaps for that reason, it certainly is fresh in the audience's mind when we come off stage. So I get quite a lot of comments about her writing. It's always that it's, not only that they've enjoyed it, but it left them feeling kind of very content with everything. And that's why we put that piece at the end of concerts sometimes, because it sort of sends people out on a high.
And can you give me an example of where you might have, just a few places where you've sung Eleanor's music?
Yeah, 100%. So recently we performed her piece on our Australia tour. We were at a city near Melbourne in Castlemaine, and we performed Grandmother Moon as the encore there. We sang her piece around Canada when we toured recently, in Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories, and we brought it with us as well to Victoria in British Columbia, and then we've sung it in Clemson in South Carolina, then as well as around the UK, in London and in Bristol recently. We've performed her music in France around Mont Saint-Michel and several churches connected with that area. Hopefully that's that's a good list off the top of my head.
That's pretty good. From Australia through Canada to France, it's not bad at all. Is there anything you'd like to say to Eleanor?
Well, just congratulations on your extraordinary service. In fact, I wasn't really aware that you had spent so long in one place, but clearly with such a wonderful home base, that's enabled you to work on everything that you've done so far and achieve so much. So thanks to everyone in the congregation for looking after Eleanor as well.
There we go. So that's Owain Park, the artistic director of the Just Waldo Six, as well as a composer himself. So between just those two, and these are the only two people I tried to reach, between just those two, we know that Eleanor's music is known and loved, deeply known and deeply loved, from the south part of Australia all the way across this country and well into Europe, and I have no doubt far, far beyond. So one more thing, and Owain touched on this. This is a celebration of Eleanor, and she knows, and I think you know, how highly I think of her and her music. But there is a great deal of credit that deserves to fall on Fairlawn for providing an environment where such a great artist can work so steadily and so productively and so securely. So congratulations, Eleanor. And as Owain Park noted, congratulations, Fairlawn, for loving the music and the person who is so central to everything about what is great in this church.